April 28, 2017. Nassau, Bahamas. You are watching the Instagram posts go live in real time. Thousands of people arriving at the airport. Thousands of people loading onto buses. Thousands of people posting photos with the caption, "We're here, we made it." And you are standing on an island that has no stages, no villas, no gourmet catering, no running water in half the tents, just mud. And rain. And hundreds of orange FEMA disaster tents that your team pulled out of a storage container 3 days ago. Because the luxury glamping accommodations you promised never got built. You are 25 years old. You have never run a music festival. You have never run anything larger than a conference call. But 11 months ago, you had an idea so perfect it felt inevitable. You grew up understanding one thing better than most people your age. Attention is a currency. Real attention. The kind that makes someone stop scrolling, look twice, feel something. You had been watching the influencer economy build itself in real time, and you saw what everyone else missed. The product didn't need to exist yet. You just needed the right images, the right people, the right moment. You hired a marketing team. You booked Kendall Jenner, Bella Hadid, Emily Ratajkowski. You flew them to a private island in the Bahamas. You spent 2 days shooting. Blue water, white sand, supermodels. Not a single ticket had been sold. Not a single stage had been designed. But the images were perfect. You posted one orange tile. That's it. A blank orange square. Within 48 hours, it had been shared by every major influencer simultaneously. The internet did the rest. People started theorizing. What is this? Who is this? Is this real? It was the most efficient marketing moment you had ever seen. And you built it in a week. Tickets sold out. Some packages at $12,000. VIP experiences at $100,000. People paid without knowing what island they were flying to. They paid because of a feeling. Because of what the images told them about themselves if they were the kind of person who went to a place like this. You were not delusional. You knew the island wasn't ready. You knew the infrastructure wasn't funded. You knew that what you had sold was a concept, not a product. But you also believed, genuinely, completely, that you could close the gap. That the money coming in would fund the build-out. That the team you were assembling would pull it off. That problems that seemed impossible in October would be solved by April, because they had to be. You told your team this every time they raised concerns. There were a lot of concerns. The main stage wasn't contracted until 2 months before the event. The luxury villas, the ones in the promotional video, were private homes on a different part of the island that had nothing to do with the festival grounds. The catering company quit. Then another one quit. The water lines weren't installed. The generators weren't sufficient. The medical team was one nurse. People on your team sent you emails. Some of them begged you to postpone. One email you received said, plainly in writing, "If we go forward with this, we could be responsible for someone dying." You read the email. You did not postpone. Because in your mind, in the architecture of how you processed this, postponing was the same as admitting it was over. And it wasn't over. It was never over until it was over. Problems get solved. Resourceful people find answers. You had been resourceful your entire life. You had gotten out of situations that looked impossible before. April 27th. The day before guests arrived. You walked the festival grounds. You saw the tents. You saw the mud. You saw the catering setup. Cheese sandwiches and iceberg lettuce in styrofoam boxes instead of the gourmet meals that had been advertised. You made a decision. You sent the guests a letter saying conditions were not ideal, but the experience would be transformative, and you were committed to delivering something special. Then you got on a plane. The next morning the photos started. The tent city, the cheese sandwiches, the collapsed stages, people sleeping in airport terminals, luggage lost, no transportation, no communication, thousands of people stranded on an island with no way home and no one from the company picking up the phone. You watched it happen on your phone from a location that was not the island. The lawsuits came fast. Then the FBI. Then the charges. Wire fraud. Multiple counts. You were 26 years old by the time you stood before a judge. You got 6 years. And the documentary made you, somehow, famous. Here's what Billy McFarland's story reveals that most people miss. The fraud was not the music festival. The fraud was a mirror. Fire showed something about the attention economy that was already true. We had built a world where the image of an experience could be sold before the experience existed, where the feeling of exclusivity was itself the product, where the people who bought tickets were, at some level, buying a version of themselves they wanted to show to other people. Billy McFarland exploited that. But he didn't create it. The question that keeps coming back is this: how many products in your feed right now are being sold the same way? Image first, reality second. Think about it. And let us know in the comments.